Tony D and Little Joan in the background, and this is a screenwriter's rant on 4 different trailers. Couldn't pick. Bank of Dave, Butch versus Sundance, Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe, or Berlin. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 11. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Oh, man, this is a tough choice. This is a real tough choice for a lot of reasons. I almost threw a 5th one in here. But that wasn't a movie. They're doing an anime version of The Suicide Squad. Anyhow, Bank of Dave is a wholesome comedy movie based on a true story about a guy who starts a local bank in the UK, and there hasn't been a local bank made in 150 years, and everybody fights him for it, but in the end he wins. And at some point, it's based on a true story. At some point, Def Leppard headlines a fundraiser for the bank, and it's going to help people, and Dave is just super altruistic, and it's all great, and the evil bankers, everybody hates them, blah, blah, blah. Written by Piers Ashworth, directed by Chris Foggin. Don't know any of the actors, but they're all English, so I probably wouldn't know many of them. It looks fine-ish. First act, Dave wants to start a bank. He hires a bunch of lawyers, including a young guy in the foreground there, to help him, and because he wants to do all this nice stuff. The bank's profits go to charity, and they back all these local things, and it's a chance to do some good. So he's a millionaire with a heart of gold, I assume. He started loaning people money, and now he needs to open a bank because it's gotten so out of hand. So they're filling out all the paperwork, and then they hit a roadblock. Second act, the roadblock is evil bankers don't want local bank. No. And evil bankers do everything they can to fight dirty, drag him through court, spend all his money, and stop him. But the lawyer with the heart of gold helps, and along the way he learns something, and then they win. Because would you watch the movie if they lost? What kind of comedy movie would that be? So it's a bit quirky, mild. Second movie is Butch versus Sundance. Now, I'm not so sure this is historically accurate because I didn't read a lot about Butch and Sundance. As far as I know, they were a team for a lot of their run together. Now, I guess this focuses on a particular time period when they weren't friends and were rivals, or maybe it was all a scam. There's a little bit of the movie in here. It appears to be that they're fighting over a girl, and I'm not so sure. Yeah, it's all the info I have on it. But it looks like an okay Western. It looks like they're going to have fun. It's on Tubi. It's free. So, I mean, I don't recognize any of the actors. It looks like they're trying. I'd say A for effort on this one. The actors seem to be doing their best. It doesn't feel like a high budget thing, but it doesn't look cheap, I'll say. So, would I watch it? Yeah, I might watch this. It's kind of hard to pin down the story. I know a little bit too much about the Old West, but I guess this is first act. They split up for some reason. I think over a woman, because things they've been working together a while, and now things have gotten they've gotten on each other's nerves. Second act, they try to outwit each other, trying to rob each other's banks and steal each other's sidekicks and whatnot, and that escalates. They fight. They have a few near misses. Then in the third act, they're forced to come together and reunite because they have to fight a common enemy. Alternatively, it could take place before Butch and Sundance were a team, because they ended as a team, if I'm remembering correctly. They died as a team. Um, so yeah, so maybe before they got together, they were rivals, and they were kind of hearing about each other, and then so it's about them trying to one up each other in the second act. First act, they got their separate things. The second act, they have this rivalry that goes back and forth, gets out of hand. They try to kill each other. Third act, they come together because of a common enemy. Or perhaps it could be one big con. Like, they start together, they have this fight, but it turns out really the fight is staged in order to draw out some of their enemies, let's say, and maybe they're going to pull off this heist, and part of the way they're going to pull it off is to have this tension between them so people don't think that they're working together, and then it turns out they are, and then they pull like a double cross. So it could be interesting. It doesn't look bad. Number 2 is Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe, and just even reading that title sounds pretentious. From Blue Fox, it's I think two young men who fall in love. I think it's the story. It's based on a book, and at one point, one of the kids has to move to Chicago for a year, just a year, and then it's about them trying to stay in touch. Or will they stay in touch? Will they stay in love? Oh, it's so hard to be gay. Blah blah blah. Eva Longoria is in it. It's the only name I recognize. I don't know. It looks boring and pretentious to me. September 8th, only in theaters. I mean, it's a love story, so, or drama movie, it says here. So, first act, you've got the two young men, and they're outcast. They meet, they become best buds, and maybe they become more. I'm not sure if they're gay or not. They didn't really show that. Maybe they're just bros. It's possible. And then second act, one of them has to move away for a year. Will they stay friends? Will they not? They go through trials and tribulations. Third act, they grow up, or they get together, or both. Not my kind of movie. Looks boring and pretentious. And finally, there's Berlin, a heist movie from the makers of Money Heist. I think the cast is Italian. I think they're speaking Italian. So I think one of the characters' name is Berlin. I don't think it takes place in Berlin. So they're going to rob this auction house, and because it's got a lot of rare stuff in it. They've got a team of wacky characters. One of the guys is dating or having an affair with the wife of one of the people they're robbing. There's also a couple other characters. There's this guy, and there's a girl who's in love with him, and because he's all muscular, this girl's in love with him. She's the nerdy scientist type. It's like a whole team. It's like Ocean's 11, but I think it's Italian. It's called Berlin. Now, in December, wow, that's way out in advance. I will say that Netflix is very good at picking movies in the foreign market. They usually pick really good ones. Here is, there is a write-up. A plan to steal 44 million pounds in one afternoon from the world of Money Heist comes Berlin. Watch the teaser now. I didn't see Money Heist. I think I saw the trailer for it. And that's about it. Okay. This is a tough one. But let's go with the obvious. Aristotle and Dante discovers the secrets of the universe. I don't like this one. It just feels too pretentious to me. It's drama, not my kind of movie. I put that on the bottom. After that, I gotta go with Bank of Dave, because Bank of Dave is, it's a little too cutesy. It's not very funny. I guess it's based on a true story. I'm not from the UK, so it's part maybe why it doesn't totally resonate with me. And then there's Butch versus Sundance in Berlin. That's a tough call. Butch versus Sundance, I love me some Westerns. But I don't know if this is legit historical Butch and Sundance, which it would annoy me if they just made this up. That would be really annoying. But I think there was a time they weren't a team, so I'm sure it's possible. They look young in it. If they took the time to make it historically accurate, probably would pick that one first as the top one. But then again, Netflix does have a good record with their foreign films and picking them. So Heist, or not Heist, Berlin, from the people who made Money Heist, seems well made. Seems like the best made one of all. Seems better made than the Western. So I would edge out. I would say Berlin, Butch and Sundance, Bank of Dave, and then the incredibly long title one. So yeah, it's on net. I have Netflix, so I guess I could watch it. I might. It's subtitled, which is kind of a drawback, but I think I could get over it. And again, Netflix tends to pick good foreign movies because keep in mind they have a lot of money. They're an American company and they're still doing okay. It's a lot easier for them just to buy a hit movie and put it on their platform than it is to like actually make one. Although this feels like it may have been at least partially financed by Netflix, maybe. Maybe. I mean, it's from the world of Money Heist. I forget what that was about. I think I looked at the trailer for that one too. So yeah, I guess I would give it to Berlin. It does look slick. Looks like it's fun. Butch and Sundance looks okay too. It's a close call. It's a close call. But I would probably see both of those. The other two, if I saw Dave, if somebody dragged me to it, I'd be okay with it probably. Probably be harmless enough. The Dante and Aristotle discover the universe or whatever. No, that sounds boring. It looks boring. Not my kind of movie. No offense. Doesn't look poorly made or anything. If you like dramas, maybe. But not for me. Not for me. All right, that's it for me. Tony D and Little Joe. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and especially Rumble for our more bass takes. You gotta get us on those channels because YouTube, I'm telling you, YouTube's just gonna axe my channel one day. I'm worried about what I said on the live stream on Sunday. Not super worried. I mean, I didn't say anything that crazy, but give it a couple of years. The algorithm seems to be about 2.5 years behind. That's how I got flagged the first time. Then after I got flagged back then, this was around a certain day in January, I sort of cleaned up my channel a little bit and then put all my news stuff on the other channels. So maybe I'll be fine for a while. I don't know, but it's YouTube. They're constantly changing the rules. So please come over to Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble. We'll see you.